Hi friends, it's Kate Kaltoff. Welcome to a Stamping to Share video. We are live this morning and we're going to make two really pretty cards with the color and contour bundle. So it's just taking a minute for everything to get working here. Good morning. I'm just going to take a look at who's all here so far. Welcome. It's so nice to have you here. Hopefully I'm sort of on time. I'm still using my mitten mugs. Can you see these? Because it's still dang cold outside. I remember I spent some time with my brother-in-law up at our cabin, and he's like, I think this is going to be the last cold snap of the season. I'm looking at him like, how long have you lived in Minnesota? I did not say anything to him. I did not put him down. I just said, oh, I hope so. But I knew better. Oh, cold snaps can go right into the middle of March. Hello, good morning. Welcome. Yes, we have lots of cold snaps going across the United States. Good to see you. It's always kind of fun to get the weather where you are. Of course, Tila's here. Her weather's going to be about the same as mine. Freezing. Wear your mittens today. I can't even imagine. I can't. Tila has so many kids. I can't remember exactly how many kids, but she has a number. And it must be something else to keep all those mittens and hats and scarves straight. Because I remember when I was a mom, I only had 3 kids, and it was like it was a 3-ring circus around here, especially when it came time for dressing everybody up to go outside. Oh, Diana's off drinking her favorite pop, Diet Dr. Pepper. Yay, I'm glad you're having something to lift your spirits, as pop and coffee do. Good morning. Hello from West Virginia to Sherry. It's nice to see you. Oh, goodness, she's got 18 degrees in West Virginia. That's cold. Good night. All right, well, I think I'm going to flip the camera down and we'll go ahead and get started. Enough talk about the cold snap, right? Let me see if I can get this all working. There we go. So here's the cards we're going to make. They're so pretty. I'm going to do this one first because it uses lighter colors of ink on it. So then it makes it easier to transition to darker colors of ink without maybe I won't even have to clean my stamp pad or clean my inks off. What am I saying? I maybe won't even have to clean my stamps when I transition to the darker colors, but we'll see. All right, so and then we'll finish up with this fun card. This is the one I posted on Instagram already, so I know that's the reason some of you are here, is because you saw this card and wanted to see how it's made. So we'll get there, I promise. For those of you that, like it's snappy, you may want to just come back and watch the replay. Then you can kind of fast forward to where you want to go. But for all of my regulars here, welcome. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate that you stick through this with me. You see all my little ups and downs and when I run across the room and all those sort of things. All right, so we're going to start by, I'm just going to show you real quickly the Pansy Petals Designer Series paper. I mean, if I look outside and see nothing but white, 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 I can at least be in my crafting area here and see some flowers. So we've got some pretty pansy leaves. We've got some pretty gingham. We've got a lot of ink colors in this paper pack. So we've got the Evening Evergreen, the Soft Succulent. We'll be using one of these papers today with all the little pansies on. And then here's some pretty fresh freesia. Ooh, look at those pansies. And of course, this paper does come with I can't even remember. I think it's called the Pansy Patch bundle, which we're not actually using today. We're using this paper though for the color and contour bundle that I chose to use. And so here's some more. So if you really are feeling the need to immerse yourself into some pretty floral pieces, go ahead and get yourself a pack of the Pansy Petals. It's really pretty. And as I mentioned, we'll be using this. And so the first thing I want to talk about, the first thing I want to talk about is the bundle. It looks like this. It's the color and contour bundle. And I actually sell a lot of these. I even sometimes Sometimes I have customers who say, well, I have plenty of flowers. I just really, 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 really want the dies. So yes, go ahead and get just the dies. So when I listed the supplies, I listed the bundle, but then I also listed the dies separately further down in the post, because some people really do only want the dies, and that's fine. I tell you that it's worth double its price, because these particular scallop dies, I think they're called, let me just double check, scalloped contour dies, cheat sheet. These are really, really nice, and you will really enjoy having them. We've even got a big scallop for the edges of your card. So, and then of course we'll be using stamps out of this color and contour stamp set. But we are also going to make a zigzag edge along our card. And here is another set of dies that I've sold a lot of through the past year or so. And this is the basic borders dies. So you have some things that can decorate your cards really pretty. It's not just for envelopes. You can take these edges and you can make hills, you can make fun flaps on your cards, and of course you can also use it to create homemade envelope flaps. They're nice and long. And then you've got some clouds, you've got fancy zigzags, and then you've got regular zigzags. So today we're going to use the regular zigzags for this card. And you might as well make 2 zigzags at one time as long as you're zigzagging, because they're, what would you call it, asymmetrical. So you can use one on one card and one on another card. So this is the size paper that you probably want to cut down to. So we've got the pale papaya gingham from the pansy petals, 1.5 inches by 6 inches. And then you're just going to take your die. I'm going to just take my die and we just put it right over the top, cut side down. And then just center it right in the middle. If you do need to hold it in place, just use a little removable tape or a Post-it note or some washi. I don't like to use washi. I'll tell you why. I find that the washi can sometimes tear my paper when I take it away. And I know a lot of people are like, washi, washi, washi. Not so much for me. Just, I don't know if my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is just too tight or what the deal is, but I'm much better with just the removable tape from Scotch. So run that through and you're going to end up, oh, please tell me I did this in advance. I think I did. I just have to find it. You're going to end up with 2 pieces that look like this. And so let's go ahead and start putting this card together. And the first thing that we're going to need is some fresh freesia, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 to get your basic standard card that we make here in Stampin' Up. That's the inside panel. We'll work at that in a minute. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take some multi-purpose liquid glue just because it's so easy. We like easy, easy peasy. So we're just going to set a little small rectangle down there and then just center this in. And you know it is going to overlap, or it's going to go off the edge on each side, but I just kind of want to get it on there. And then I can take my scissors and just trim up those edges so they are perfect. Perfect. That's a key word in my language. It's held me back. You know, when you have the perfect mindset, sometimes you hate to start something for fear of not being perfect. I actually bought Stampin' Up products for about 4 years before I made my first card because I didn't want to mess it up. Is that not a story? Yeah, so that's a little crazy. All right, so there's the first little thing that we're doing. The next little thing that we're doing is we are going to take some stitched rectangle dies, and I've got the ones flipped over that we're going to be using, and we are going to use the third one down with a piece of pale papaya cardstock because that's going to go right here. Did I do that right? I think I did. Seems like it's a little off. And then the next one we're going to do is this one right here, and that's going to go right there. All right, so we're going to set this aside for a second. I'll show you what I did And we've got something that looks like this. Now, we are going to want to extend this bottom part. As you can see, there's an extension. So the first thing that we're going to do is put our ribbon on, because that's the easiest thing to tell where we're going to want this extension to be, so we can make this a little bit longer. So I've got my ribbon handy, and we are going to just pull that out, cut this off, and grabbing some handy dandy Scotch tape, we can wrap this ribbon right about, and it don't have to be perfectly perfect, but you know, what did I just say about perfect? It does tend to hold me back here. So wrap that around. It's probably, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Something like that. There we go. And now we're going to go back to our card. And we know that if we put this up here and just measure it in so it looks nice and even pretty much on all 3 sides, we're going to have just the right amount for the next piece of paper that's going down. So let me bring that out. And that is a 1/4 inch by 3 inch piece of the pansy, the little pansy pattern that has a lot of the fresh freesia and polished pink and pale papaya on it. So again, that's, and then this is going to go right here, right below the ribbon, and see how that just works perfect. So I think what we're going to do, so we know, you know, we're not going to glue it down until we get this little bit on. So let me get this little bit on, and then we'll glue, or then we'll put the whole panel down. So just put this on right where that ribbon goes across. Yep, I did it fairly correctly. That looks good. And then you can go ahead and put it onto your card, which we're going to do next. And again, with a little multi-purpose liquid glue. So that's how you can get a little extension if you want to have things really even. I did mention I was perfect, didn't I? All right, so here we go. We got this part done. Now we can put this on. And look at how pretty that looks. So you're just making it all, so everything just looks so, so nice. So what we have to do now is we are going to actually stamp on some scrap paper this flower right here. And we are going to set this all up. So I think the first thing I'm going to do to give this a little time to dry is I'm going to stamp on this rectangle piece. So let me, you know what, I feel like I need to show you this one more time. I feel like sometimes I start talking about things and then I just don't finish the thought. Oh, it's the bane of my husband's existence. He's like, getting back to what you said earlier. And I'm like, what did I say? I'm clueless. Anyway, so what we're going to do, just because I feel like I didn't mention this, or if I mentioned it, I didn't finish the thought. So we're going to count down 1, 2, 3. From the outside, that's this one, the pale papaya. Then we're going to count down 4, 5. So it's the 5th one down. That is going, nope, I grabbed the wrong one. It's the 5th. It truly is the 5th one down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th one down, and that's the basic white. So I did pre-cut those in advance. There we go. All right. Oh, goodness. I tell you what, it might be cold, but all of a sudden I'm really warm. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to grab some soft succulent ink, and I want to show you what the kind of crazy thing I did here just a little bit before I got on. Ooh, what in the world did Kay do? So I want to use this stem and leaf portion, but I don't want the flowers because I'm going for a different flower look, right? So sometimes we do that. So I just covered this whole section in Scotch tape. Then I can take my soft succulent ink. I'm just gonna, this all nice and inky back here. But you know what, before I even do that, I'm gonna grab my sentiment because the sentiment will help me know where to put the stem. So I'm gonna ink up my sentiment. Well, I wanted to ink up the sentiment in Fresh Freesia. I just inked it up in So Saffron, but I think it's going to be okay. We're going to just stay with So Saffron. No, not So Saffron. Soft Succulent. I had the S's right. All right, so we're going to put this right here. I think that'll look good. Then we've got this whole thing going on. I'm just going to give it one more inky burst just to freshen it all up. And then I'll start peeling off the, peel off the tape, set that aside because I can use that on more cards if I want to. What I'm going to do now is set this at an angle, right like, I think right like this. Give it a press. And we have our stems. Then we want to put a little bud going off to the left. So I've got my little bud stamp. Isn't he cute little bud? Then we're going to take the bud and we're going to go just like this. Oh no! I didn't press evenly. Let's see if we can, let me just pull this out of the camera for a sec. I'll see if I can fix it. Did I mention I was perfect? All right, moving on. Let's see, what's the next thing we want to do? The next thing we want to do is grab our scrap paper. You know, you guys always think that, you know, you always compliment me on the fact that I label everything and tell you the measurements. I don't even know that I do it for you. I pretty much do it for me because otherwise I'd look at this paper and I'd go, now what's this for? This tells me scrap. So we've got some scrap, basic white, and we are going to take our handy dandy little flower stamps. You might notice I've got some dots on my acrylics because I spent considerable time trying to figure out which way to put these on the block so that I could stamp it and have it all line up. Now, sometimes it makes no difference, but for these particular cards, I did kind of want them to line up. Not always do I want them to line up, but since I was cutting them out on my Stampin' Cut emboss machine, I wanted them to line up. So after 25 minutes of trying to figure out which way I needed to put these flowers, I thought, now I have it. And then I started stamping with it and I realized, I don't have it because I couldn't remember which way was up. So then I took a marker once I finally figured it out and I put two little dots there. All righty, so let's take some Fresh Freesia ink and I'm going to stamp this one, put it down, and then we'll stamp this one and put it down. And no, I did not make a mistake. You do want to layer them, but I wanted to see which way worked the best. I kind of was doing every which way before. So I want to see what is easier, to put the shadow down or to put the lines down. So I did it both ways and now I'll try to figure it out. So now I'm going to ink up the shadow part and we will stamp this. You know, this is just so hard because I can't see what I'm doing, but I'll try again. I think we'll go like that. Ooh, that worked pretty good. Pretty close, pretty awesome. So that was pretty easy to see. Now I'll see if I like doing this way better. So I'm going to ink it up. Oh, I got to get it a little closer. Sorry about that. And I honestly think that was harder. So for me, I think it's easier for me anyway to do the shadow first and then put the lines over the top. Is that what I did? Oh no, now I can't remember. I should have labeled these so I knew what I did. I think I did. No, I did it the opposite way. It's easier to put the lines first and then the shadow over the top. That's what I did. I gotta write that down. Lines and then shadow. So do this first and this second. That seems to be the trick for me. Boy, I'll probably go back, look at this video and realize I just wrote that all wrong, but I did get the better impression doing it that way. So all that to say, I already have it pre-cut. It's right here. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and finish this card up. So we've got to get some blends. We're going to take some soft succulent blends and just using the lighter one, I'm going to go in and just add a little bit of color through these leaves. Just gives them a little, I don't know, just makes them show up a little bit better. And you don't have to do it like super intense. Just add a little shadow of leaves. Then we're going to take our fresh freesia blend. Oh my gosh, I just about dumped my coffee over. Wow, that was close. And then we're going to go in and we are going to color this little bud. And I'm using the lightest color here. And if you want, you can go ahead and add a little bit more with the darker color. And then you can take this pretty little flower and using, I'm going to get some things out of the way. Using your Stampin' Seal, you can go ahead and put this right onto our card. However you think it looks the best. Oh yeah, I like it like that. And then we're going to put this onto the front of our card. And I'm going to do that again with Stampin' Seal. You know me, anytime I'm working with basic white or very vanilla, I do prefer to use Stampin' Seal. I'm going to set this on right here. Just center it in. And then what's nice about having this extension piece, which obviously I didn't get enough Stampin' Steel down here. Let me add a little more. There we go. What's nice about this is that it gives you a little more room to see this pretty flower pattern below. All right, so let's go ahead now and do the inside panel. And it says, "You're absolutely amazing." So let me grab my inside panel. And I've got this sort of started and I forgot, did I forget? I did forget. Or did I forget? Did I forget? I did forget. So this is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel. Hopefully you can all figure that out. It's 1/4 in from everywhere else. And I'm going to take the sentiment, "You are amazing." And I think since we did the sentiment on the outside in green, I'm going to do the sentiment on the inside green as well. Trying to find my "You are amazing" sentiment. I thought I had it out, but maybe I do not. Let me check in my stamp set. Well, it's not in my stamp set either. Okay, so today I'll leave it blank. But if you wanted to, you could add the sentiment, "You are amazing." This is not gonna work well because I'm using that same sentiment on my next card and I don't know where it is. All right, so we're just gonna set this inside panel right here. And we have our first card done. Oh, not quite, because we have to add a little gem, because no card is done without a little gem. So since there's so many in colors on this, we're going to stick with in colors for a little gem in the center of our flower. We're using the 2021-23 in color jewels. And we're going to use a fresh freesia jewel. So I'm just going to take a little tiny one here and set that right there. And now the card is done. Do you love it? Oh my gosh. So it's so soft and pretty. I'm not even sure that it shows up super great in my Zoom app here, but it is really gorgeous in real life. All right, so that was card number 1. Now we're going to do card number 3, or card number 2. So that is going to be this one. So I can get a few things off my desk here. So I won't need all of these inks. I've got open sitting all over the place. Oh, I love all the little hearts you guys are giving me. Thank you. That is so nice of you. Hold on, I'm still getting things back together. Boy, it's amazing how quickly things get messed up. I'm still kind of looking for my stamp set that says you are, or my stamp that says you are amazing, because I'm going to peek across the room. Shoot, it's not over there either. I don't know where it went. I have the block, it's empty, which makes me wonder if I put it away with all of my blocks with the stamp still on it. That's about par for the course. I don't know. Well, maybe there's another sentiment I can use. Actually, I'm looking around. I don't see any of my sentiment stamps. I don't know where they all went. Well, I might just leave it blank and we'll just have to finish it up after the video, because I do want to put "You Are Amazing" on here, because number one, you guys are. And I'm just completely shocked that I don't see it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to look in my block drawer, because I almost feel like, you know, I was tidying up and possibly I threw it in with my clear blocks, but I didn't. So who knows? Okay, so we'll just move on and worry about it later. All right, so I'm going to now share how to do this next card. And we're going to start, of course, with the most glorious part of the card, which is the fabulous pink color called Polished Pink. It is one of our in colors, and we're also going to use that as our ink that we're using on the flower. And we're also going to use Memento Black ink. Now, I know I just did this, and thank goodness I took notes. So I know I want to do my lines first. So I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper here. Once again, it's helpful for me to label. And we're going to open this up. And we are going to do this. So since this is such a light color, the fresh freesia, I don't even think it needs to be, you know, cleaned off. So we're going to stamp the flower first in the outline, and then we can come in with our shadowy part and stamp it right over the top. Except I have to bring it forward so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, it works great for me to stamp the lines first. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, I just love it. Okay, then you can go ahead and hand cut that or use the die that comes with the scalloped contours. And you're going to want to do 3 of those. So lucky for you, I do have all of those prepped. So they're all right here. And then we've got our little scallop, or our little rectangle, stitch rectangle that we're going to work with. So let me show you which rectangle I used. And I believe it is the 4th one down. Or not. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's the 4th one down. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, it's this one right here. All right. So let me grab, again, we'll want some scrap paper here because we're going to be stamping some dots. So I've got my dot stamp. And we're going to ink that up, and we're just going to put some dots on the top and just bring that all the way down like so. And then I think this is maybe about all we need, maybe just a little bit more. So kind of do sort of an angle with your dots. So it should look something like this. And then we can start putting our flowers on. So you'll want your sentiment here. Oh, I just cannot believe I don't have my sentiment. I mean, literally, I was stamping with it last night, right before I went to bed. Unless I was, unless I walked into the laundry room because I was doing laundry, unless I walked upstairs. And the weird thing is I can't even find the sentiment that I just used on the card we just did. I mean, like every sentiment is gone. I just can't even understand it. I don't know. I mean, I think I inherited this issue from my grandma because she would always say to me, she goes, "Oh, those darn fairies." She would always say, "Those darn fairies took it again." I must have them running all over my desk because like literally cannot find a thing. So, this just bugs me to no end. I'm going to see if I can look behind me. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab my special moments stamp set because I know where that is. Doggone it, I'm going to get a stamps. I'm going to get a sentiment on here. Well, let's see. What can we use? So now this is a special purchase. If you get up to $100 on your order with your Stampin' Up! Order, you can pick a $100 item. And this is one of the $100 items. And that ends already on February 28th. So guess what? I can still use the word amazing. Just a card to say you're amazing. Oh, wow. This is like almost practically, this says almost practically the same thing. Grab it. Well, how perfect is that? So now I'm going to take my blank block. We have to put this on at a little bit of an angle. We're going to grab the tuxedo black ink. And we're going to set this lovely. It's so nice and clear. Maybe I should stamp this off once because I don't think I've ever used this stamp yet. Oh, it stamps just perfect. Okay, let me try it one more time here. Well, I kind of got it a little inky on the right-hand side, but it looks pretty good. Just a card to say you're amazing. So that's really close as far as sentiments go. All right. That sentiment hasn't gotten away yet, but give it another minute. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is we're going to pop this onto a black panel. And we're going to put it right dead center into a black panel. The black panel is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4. And we're going to put this on with some Stampin' Seal. And like I said, we're just going to pop this in so it's all pretty much even. So what I'm doing is the corner thing where I'm looking at this corner. If they're nice and even, everything else is too. Then I'm going to put on these two flowers straight on like that with my Stampin' Seal. And then the other flower I will pop up with Stampin' Dimensionals. So we'll put one up here and we'll put the other one right here. And then this one will pop up with dimensionals. It'll look so fine. So let me grab my dimensionals. Let's set this in. I think 3 will be about perfect, kind of the 3-legged stool concept. There we go. Just like this. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, so let's get back to making this card. You'll also notice we've got an inside panel, 4 by 5 1/4. And that is going to go right here, but I think we should add some dots or something. So let me grab the dots. We'll just put some dots all along the bottom just to kind of carry on the theme. Maybe we'll add a couple of black dots too. So I'm going to grab the tuxedo black, just add a little bit of black here and there. Perfect. See, the trick is the higher up you go with the dots, the less you have to write. Always a good thing. Well, not always, but sometimes it's a good thing. And we're going to set this in just like so. And then we're going to take this and it's going to go on here, but guess what? We're still missing something. We're missing this pop, that scallop. So what I did is I took a 1/4 sheet of basic white paper from Stampin' Up, cut it in 4s. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I ran it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the scalloped contour dies. And they look like this. And I use the very largest die, the very largest one. And you get something that looks like this. So we're going to flip that over. And this time I can use multi-purpose liquid glue because I don't care about glue lines because none of this is going to ever show through to the front. So we'll take that, we'll put it right like so. Just center it into the front of your card. Just perfectly. And then this is going to go right over the top. And just the scallops will show up. Whoops, I need a drink of coffee here. Oh no. I took a sip of coffee and my glue started drying. Has that ever happened to you? Then all of a sudden you can barely move it. There we go. I think I got it. Okay, press that down. And then for the, isn't that beautiful? So just like that, it's just beautiful. However, we want to add our crowning touch, which is going to be matte black dots. So we're going to use some big ones. So I've got some here. Get the chunks of hair off of it. There we go. Then we're going to take your pick tool. Those darn fairies. What the heck? Why take your pick tool? Just poof. Like it's gone. I don't even know. I think I'm just gonna have to go right to bed after this video. This has been so bizarre today. All right, we're gonna take a scissors because my take your pick tool is missing. And we are gonna grab 3 of these matte black dots. I mean, I'd pick them off with my fingers, except I'd never see where I was putting them. There's another one and the final one, which goes right here. There we go. Oh my goodness. The fact that you all hung in here today with all of my shenanigans is kind of remarkable. All right, so we're going to put all of the cards. I haven't lost the cards. Got those here. So put these all out so you guys can get a nice look just as we're ending up the video. Aren't they pretty? All right, so just once, I want to have this like right. Like, how's that look? Oh my goodness, so pretty. Okay, you guys, thank you again so much for hanging in here. I know some of you have been emailing me your frustrations that things are on back. To work with today, because you know what? I think everything I use today is pretty much orderable. I think. I don't know for sure because that little list changes. But you know, for those of you that have already ordered over 75 this month, you know that my customer gift this month is the Pebbles enamel shapes. It's not even available for me to order. So that is not going to work out very well, but I will still just have to order them when they do become available, and then I will send them out to you because that's just the way we have to roll. And for everything else, you know, when you're placing online orders, if you can't get the part number to show up and you can't get the product to show up in my online store, it's not available. So hello, catalog. Hello, annual catalog. We might be playing a little bit more with the annual catalog. Have a great day, everyone. Tomorrow, though, I do know that a lot of you were looking forward to me doing the Sunshine and Rainbows card. I think it's called Happy Rainbows. What the heck? Rainbow Happiness. That's what it's called. I know a lot of you are looking forward to me doing that card. And even though I cannot order the bundle, I am still going to do that card because I had that on my list of things to do and it's all prepped. It's ready to go. So I will do mailbox shares tomorrow with another Rainbow of Happiness card, even though you can't get it. But I did have it planned. All right, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. I truly appreciate you and hope the fairies don't take any of your stuff. Bye-bye.